And this is the moment where like I felt like his presence like there.
I know, you've told me this story before. And
I prayed the prayer. I was like, okay,
no.
I was like, God, if this isn't for me,
Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today I am joined with Miss Maria. She is one of my good friends here in university, and I'm really excited. You guys are in for a treat because you are going to learn about Maria's spiritual journey. Maria, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was trying to remember the first time I met you, but I can't remember, but apparently you do.
So
when was that?
I think it was this year after Ash Wednesday during the cookout.
During the cookout?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yes. I think we were waiting to go to cookout. And then we were all studying together. I don't know if it was this time. But yeah.
And then we got close when we were
at the TI. We went to the TI retreat.
Yes, we did go to that TI retreat in DC. Yeah.
And then after that, it was like
we started studying every once in a while. And then I got to learn a bunch about your spiritual journey, which was great. I know you just got out of Bible study. How was that?
That was really good because it was like a women-centered Bible study, and it was only like 5 of us, but we read about the women at the well, and so I got a lot out of it. So I think it was really great, and I'm excited for the rest of the semester. So.
That's really good.
Yeah,
and that's going to be happening every week.
Right? Thursday, 6:30. So
for those who don't know you much, like tell us about yourself. Like, what are you studying? What year are you in college?
So I am an undergraduate at UNC. I am studying biology, BA. As of right now, I am trying to go to nursing school, the accelerated nursing school. So I kind of like changed. I was bouncing into like different majors, but then I found nursing to be like my calling, and then that's what I'm doing. So
that's great. That's so good. So this, for those who don't know, I'm starting this kind of podcast so that people can like see like. My time in university has allowed me to see so much beauty in Catholicism, and being part of Newman has allowed me to meet a lot of people, and like you're like a perfect example to show these people because you have so much. I don't know. You're so devoted to God, and I can see it in you, and I want everyone to know about it. So I think my first question to you is, what brought you to this point in your spiritual life? I see you as like a really good role model, but I'm sure it took, a lot of time and experiences to get to this point. So tell me how did you get to this point?
So I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to tell someone like how it started. I kind of talked about it in my talk at a retreat at Awakening, but I didn't really it wasn't like very detailed. So it kind of started my junior year in high school. Before that, I would go to church because my parents would take me, but it wasn't like I didn't know like God like that, you know. Yeah. But it started my junior year because I did my confirmation class. I did my confirmation class late. Oh, okay. I don't know how old I was, but I did it late because usually you do it when you're 14. And this was during COVID too. So my church it's kind of big. So we had to be 3 people every row. Yeah. Separated, obviously, 6 feet apart. And it wasn't that great. The confirmation class wasn't that great because we were all separated. We couldn't really do much with each other. We just had to listen. So it wasn't that great, but some of the talks were good. Some of the things I was learning was good. I took it seriously because obviously I'm a good student. So I took it as it's a class for high school. I took it as that. Yeah. But everyone there was kind of immature. They would joke around. They would just they really wouldn't take it seriously. But and I was also quiet too, so I didn't really know anyone there. But it started at that because. So a little background was I was actually talking to someone before that. So that was kind of like, I was kind of like on and off with like love and stuff. But basically, there was a talk about love, but like Jesus is love, you know? And I just remember being like so into it, like the way the catechist was talking about it. I was like, what does she mean by like, because she was talking about unconditional love and how like Jesus like died for us and stuff like that. But I never really understood it until she explained it like in a way where I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. And like I felt something, like I felt like pulled to that love. Yeah. But then like it just kind of like faded away. Fast forward, like I got into a relationship, and obviously I was like on a bad side at that time. I think it was like my senior year, I think, of high school. And yeah, like I said, I was like literally just looking for love and like attention. I was like on a bad side at that moment. And then yeah, I got into that relationship, and because of that, it like I got my eyes away from God, from church and stuff like that. Like I would go to church and everything, but like now that I was like in love, like, you know, and all this stuff, like I was kind of like my eyes were off from church and stuff. Right. Until I really don't even know how it started, where like I was like, okay, like in my relationship, I told this guy, I was like, look, like let's go back to church. Let's go, like let's, like, you know, put God in the center of this, because like I feel like I'm getting pulled away from him, like when I'm with you. But I don't even know like what made me say that, or like I don't remember what it was. But then I like, you know, was talking to him about it, and it worked out. Like we would go to church together, but like it just wasn't the same. Like I was still just like there for love. Like I wasn't, like I don't even know if I actually loved him. If that makes sense. Like obviously at that time, like I was just blinded in love. Yeah. And it was like that relationship was a little bit toxic, because we would like argue all the time. We would like, it was just so bad. Like it was consuming me so much. Like every night I would literally cry. And then like, you know, I graduated high school and we were still together. And then during the summer, I did something called Summer Bridge here at UNC. And it was like a group of students, like 20, 50 people, I don't know. But now this was my first time, like, okay, like I'm in college, I moved in the dorm. I'm like, okay, like what's next? Like my parents aren't here to tell me to go to church, right? But I was like, I still want to go to church. So I found Newman, but I didn't know Newman at that time. But I found Newman, and they only had English mass, and I was like, like I was kind of skeptical about it. And at that time, I thought it was like a long walk, like to get to Newman. It was only like 15-minute walk. But at that time, like obviously I was like, this is so long. Like I don't want to go over there. So I think I did like not go to mass for a couple weeks until my family did come visit me, and my brother actually took me to Newman. So that was my first time at Newman for mass. So like I did go. And I had a friend during summer bridge too who also told me like, hey, like we should go to Spanish mass at St. Thomas More. But like we didn't have anyone to take us, because you know, we didn't have a car or anything. So that was that. That's how my faith was looking at, like, during that time. And then in the relationship, the arguments got worse, and it was just super bad, like, throughout that summer. Like, I was isolating myself from, like, actually hanging out with my friends. Like, because that summer bridge had events where, like, you could go to the pool together, stuff like that, right? I would kind of, like, just stay in my room all the time, like, locked in my room, because I didn't want to go out or, like, hang out with anyone. I didn't want to have any, like friends. I just wanted to be with him, or, like, I would always call him every night. Like, we would be arguing, and like it was just like a lot of stuff going on that time. And so then obviously freshman year started, you know, August, and then I'm trying to think what else happened. Yeah, it was at that point where I started like freshman year, at that point where I was like, I don't think this relationship is going to work out, because it's just gotten to the point that it's just like really bad. And like he did stuff that where it was like to the point like, okay, you gotta leave. But obviously I was so into his love and attention that I wanted to stay, and I didn't want to leave, because I feel like if I left, I'll be lonely, or I won't find someone else like him, or like stuff like that. Yeah. So those things were going in my mind. But then obviously like college started. I remember, now that I know Newman so much, I remember someone texting me saying like, hey, like I see that you're interested in going to small faith groups and stuff like that, and they were like trying to get me into one. And then they told me a specific time that worked out with my schedule, and I was like, okay, I'll go. And keep in mind, I'm shy, so like this thing, I was like, I don't know, I was kind of like skeptical about it. I was like, I didn't want to go, but I did go. And I remember it was Tuesday at 6 p.m. And it was my leader was John Paul and Ella.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember going in there and like I sat beside this Hispanic girl. I was like, oh, like I think she's Hispanic. And she turned out to be like my best friend for like that year because she graduated early. But her name was Andrea. And so we exchanged numbers, and like that SFG was so nice, but I was super nervous. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But yeah, I met Andrea, and so we both got like our contact, and the rest is history. Like we just hung out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then I went to CCN, and that's when they announced Awakening, the Awakening retreat. And they're like, oh, like you should go to Awakening. And at that point, I had went to an Awakening before. Wait, now I remember. Okay, so there was a retreat that happened that same month, and me and my ex were gonna go, right? And we had already bought like our shirts because like our shirt was our ticket. And then we got into like an argument, like, you know, we broke up and whatever, so I ended up having to go alone, but then my brothers came along with me, so they actually went with me. I think it was September, and it was really nice. Like I was with my brother, and like we like bonded with each other. But that's like just a little like side note. But anyways, with Awakening, I was like pulled to it too. I was like, okay, like nobody like forced me. You know how they say like someone's gonna like force you to go to Awakening or like tell you to go. Nobody did that. Like I immediately like signed up. I was like, I'm going. Like I really like, I think I need this. So I went, and then obviously in Awakening, I was still together with him, I think, at that time, because I remember like when we were like in the cabins and stuff, I remember like writing letters about him, like because obviously our phones were taken away. But I remember writing letters to him and stuff like that. But then this is where it started. So obviously the first day I was kind of like kind of weirded out about the phone thing, because I was like, because I'm used to texting him all the time, used to calling him all the time. And so I like quickly told him like, hey, like I'm not gonna have my phone for 3 days, like, you know, just so you know. So then I was like, I decided to leave it. And then the second day, I kind of don't want to spoil Awakening, but basically adoration happened, right? And Patty was my leader, so that was so great because I didn't know anyone there. I only knew Andrea, which was from the small faith group, but then Patty was there because I also met her throughout the semester. But she was my leader, which was so great. And I remember her like praying over me during adoration. And this is the moment where like I felt like his presence like there.
I know, you've told me this story before. And it's so awesome to think about. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I remember like this was after oh my gosh, that was like the best confession I've ever had.
Okay.
Like I've had confession before, only in my like first communion and then my confirmation.
Oh wow.
And then that was my like obviously my first time in a long time. That was like the best confession ever. Like I was crying, like bawling my eyes, and it was Friar Tim, and I was like, oh, he was the best. But I was just remembering when he told me my penance, and then like I just straight up started crying because I was like I did all this, and then like, you know, it was just crazy. But like that was a good confession. Like it was so good. But anyways, after that, my confession, I went there, I sat there, and like I kneeled down, and I was just like praying, like doing my penance. And then Patty came over with me. She was like, oh, like, can I pray over you? I was like, yeah, sure. So she started praying over me, and then after that, like obviously she left me alone, and I was just there praying. But then like I just felt this like this thing like just came out of my chest. Like I was like free. Like I don't know how to explain that, but I was just like free. And then like I felt like his love. Like I felt like he was hugging me like right there. And at that point, keep in mind, at that point I didn't even know what adoration was. I didn't even know what that meant. I didn't even know about like the Eucharist fully, like that he was there. Like I didn't know about that, but like I don't know, I just felt like he was there, like holding me, telling me like everything's okay, like you're good now, like everything's okay. And I was just like,
oh my goodness.
It was so like I don't even know how to explain it. Like that feeling was like the best. And then because of that, like I just felt at peace, and I was like, okay, like this is amazing. And so then that that week I prayed the prayer. I was like, okay, I was like, God, if this isn't for me, like give me the strength to like let him go.
Yeah.
And then the day like after that, like that night, and then when I woke up, I don't even know how I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? I called him. I was like, I'm done. Like this is over.
Goodness, yeah.
And then like I like blocked him everywhere, and then like it was just like this like I didn't even know how to feel. Like I was at peace. I wasn't like thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna be alone, like I'm not gonna have this no more. Like no, it was just straight like forward, like I did it.
Yeah.
And so that happened, and then obviously he was like bothering me, like, hey, like what's going on, like whatever. But anyways, like he did come by like my house and said like, oh, like why like are you breaking up with me? And then I just told him, like I was like, look, I just don't want to do this no more. So then he left, and then like it was done, like that was done. So then I went back to my house, and then another thing is I wasn't close to my brothers. Like they didn't know anything about this. I wasn't close to them. They didn't approve of the relationship. Like I never talked to them like that much at all, like, you know. And so then like my brother was like, oh, like mom, because my mom and dad were in New York. So that's like, that was a good thing too, because they didn't see me like at that state. But I was like, obviously my eyes were red. I was like crying. And then my brother saw me. He was like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? And then I just like bawled out in front of him and just hugged him. And keep in mind, I have never hugged him.
Really?
I've never hugged him either, like before that. Like, we don't hug and stuff like that. But then I just started like bawling out, crying, like oh, he did this to me, blah, blah, blah. And then like ever since then, like we just got close.
Yeah.
And like it makes me like happy to think that maybe that happened for a reason, you know, like that whole situation, like I went through all that, like, and it was just amazing. But like I'm close to my brothers now. And yeah, like I don't know, I think that's like the big highlight, that my brothers there were just hugging me, supporting me, because I thought I was going to be alone through this breakup situation. But no, like they were there for me. And so after that I was like, okay, like this is definitely like God right now, like helping me, like, and that's how my faith started. Like that's when I was like, okay, like what is this? What is adoration? What is all this that Newman has? And so I started going, and obviously I'm not gonna say it was easy. Like it was hard at sometimes. Like sometimes like I would go back and think about like, you know, like the memories and like the relationship, but like I would fight for it. And yeah, like that's like, I guess that's my spark. That's where it started, and I'm glad it started my freshman year. Because like I didn't even know how it would be like the year after and so. But yeah, like it was kind of hard too, because with my roommate situation as well, things weren't going well as well. So like it was like a lot of things going on me too. My parents, I didn't know either. Like I didn't talk to them like that about it, like, oh, what happened and stuff. Like they just knew that we broke up and that's it. But I'm glad I got to open up with my brother, and you know, we're close now, so that's great. But yeah, that's just how my faith started at that point. Like it was a lot. Like there's more to it. Like I could talk about it all day, but like like that's basically what happened. Like awakening completely changed me, like changed the person I am. And because of awakening, I'm here. Because of that moment, I'm here. And I didn't think college would do that. You know, I felt like college was going to be like all fun and everything. And I also had doubts of like, why did I get into UNC? Like why me? Like I feel like I'm not smart enough. But then I'm like, I think about it, because I'm like, maybe because like God's time is perfect. Maybe it was because to find this community like Newman. So yeah, and then the other crazy thing is that during my high school years, I had like an on and off with my friendships. So I would always pray every day. Every day I would always pray like, oh, like God, like please give me some friends that actually like are there for me, that actually care for me. And that was it. Like Patty, Kimberly, like Andrea, Presley, like they were all there like for me. And like it was just crazy. Like I remember just sitting in Patty's car, like thinking like when they dropped me off in Hojo, I was just thinking like, wow, like this isn't prayer answered. Like literally, like I found the friends. Like we went to church together. We would go to morning prayer together. Like adoration. Like it was just crazy. Like I was on fire at that moment. Like it was crazy. But yeah, like that's how it started. Like obviously there was on and offs like throughout the year, but I would definitely say like awakening is the biggest part. And till this day, like even as a student leader at Awakening, like it still impacts me in so many different ways. So another thing, because of that encounter, like of his presence, like my freshman year, I was like, I want more people to know about this. Like I want more people to know about his love. And so I've always been like into like trying to like spread the word to college students, but mainly like Hispanic students.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at my church, like everyone is just, I don't know, like they come and then they go. You know, like they come to get their confirmation, first communion, and boom, they're out.
Right.
So that was like my highlight. I was like, okay, maybe like college could be something like that could change them. And so, you know, my junior year, which was recently this year, La Conferencia, that's why I was so into like trying to spread that word, because I was like, I really want more people to know about it. I really want more students to know that there's like this opportunity, like, because I feel like I feel like my timing, like, as a freshman was great, but I feel like to spread that word, like, there's like so many ways we could do it. And so that's why I attended like Conferencia. I gave a speech with Max. Yes. It was amazing.
The GOAT.
Yeah. With him about like how to grow your faith through college. And I think that was a good thing. Like, that I really enjoyed making that presentation, because there was so much to talk about. So much. And I just think Newman like really helped me with my faith. Just finding that community. So I think that like really helped me a lot. And I've learned so much. I learn something every day.
Yeah.
I've learned so much about the Catholic Church. And yeah, there's just so many things to learn about it. But I think like what's really keeping my faith is just reminding myself with my freshman year, like how I got myself here now. Just reminding myself like remember you were at that point, like you can still keep going. Because I'm not gonna say like it's been easy. Like no, it hasn't been easy. Like there are times where I'm just like where I find it hard to pray like a simple like rosary, or I find it hard to like pray in the morning. But I push myself because like I see people around me, like I'm like at Newman when I go to mass, like it's just I see people like praying, like they pull out their books, and like I'm like it's possible. There's so many things, like there's so many resources. Like there's literally like you can pull up the Bible on your phone now. Like there's just so many things you can do, like the Hallow app. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, stuff like that, and I just think that's amazing. But another thing that has also like drawn me to my faith is my mom. Like my mom is so like she has had like things that she told me. I'm like, what in the world? And like the other day I told you about how my mom had a dream about the Virgin Mary.
Yes, yeah, you told me that.
I think that was crazy. Talking about that, dreams have also been helping me too. Because I remember telling you about a dream I had about like I was at adoration, and like I just remember seeing like the Eucharist was like this church was like dark. Like it was dark. Like I don't even know what it was trying to like, but it was just dark. And I just remember like the first part of my dream, like the Eucharist was there. Mm-hmm. And like for some reason the altar was kind of like broken, and like it was kind of like falling, but it wasn't like obviously it wasn't gonna fall. But like there was people like running towards it and kind of like crawling towards it because it was gonna fall. But that's all I remember. But then I remember like waking up and then going back to sleep, and then I was like in the Eucharist, and I was like, whoa! Like I remember like thinking like I was like I could like think in my mind, like it wasn't like a dream, like oh like But I always remember thinking like, whoa, like how am I in here? And I remember, like, obviously, again, the church was dark. Like, the only thing I could see was the people. And I just remember, like, looking at the people. And every time I looked at someone, like, I could hear them praying. And I remember specifically, like, this couple, I guess you could say, the guy, I remember him just thinking about, like, oh, like, what am I going to eat? You know, right. Like, he was like, what am I going to eat tomorrow for work? Yeah. And I was like, what in the world? And then I look at the lady, and she's actually praying. And I was like, is this how, because I always question myself, like, how does, like, Jesus hear the prayers? How did he, like, listen to all the prayers? But then, I guess that gave me kind of, like, a glimpse. I don't know if it's exactly true, but, like, that dream, like, kind of, like, helped me, because now when I pray, like, I get distracted a lot when I pray. Like, I start thinking about, like, oh, like, I have an exam, or, like, just random things in college. And that just, like, every time I get distracted when I pray now, I immediately think about that dream. Yeah. I'm just like, okay, like, let me stop. Like, I know he's probably hearing me right now. Yeah. And yeah, like, stuff like that, like, little things. I don't even know, like, you know about my favorite saint, Saint Faustina?
Yes.
I don't even know, how did I even get to know her? I can't even remember.
I remember when you were giving that one, talk at that, retreat, I didn't know you at that time, but you mentioned Saint Faustina. I was like, oh, I've read her book too. But yeah, she's her favorite saint, right?
Yeah, like, I don't even I'm trying to think how, like, I started, like, how I even knew her. Mm-hmm. But I think I was trying to get into books. I think at that time. And then I think I found out that she had a diary and it's an actual book, and I was like, oh snap! And so and so I was like, okay, so I ordered it, but I gave it to my mom. I was like, Mom, you can read it first, and then so she started reading it, and she was telling me how it was so good, and so we kind of started doing a competition. So I ordered one for me too in English. And we were trying to, like, compete, like, who gets, like, farthest, like, who's gonna read the whole book. Yeah. And, like, my mom would be like, are you in this part? I was like, no, I already passed that part. Like, on and off. And then, but I just remember one time, like, I was just reading it and I couldn't stop. I just kept reading it and I just couldn't stop. And it was so amazing because her story was kind of like my story, like, her story, like, you know how she had, like, she was getting attacked by demons, she had, like, really, like, well, she would actually be physically hurt, though. So I don't know how she did that, but, I think that book also moved me, like, grew my faith stronger because I heard, like, I found out about her story and then, like, the divine mercy and, like, everything, like, started connecting. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, yeah. So I think that book actually helped me too. But there's a lot of things I encountered throughout, like, college, like.
Yeah. So there's two things I want you to talk a bit more about. First is that I know your previous relationship was a really big part of your journey, or it was a way that God wanted to show himself to you through that relationship. I know that I'm sure there's going to be college students listening to your story now, and this is like the time for them to like explore, relationships and stuff like that. What's your advice to them? And if you were to like look at yourself 3 years ago, like what would you tell yourself, as well as those coming into college, those already in college, and maybe even those who are past college but are still interested in how dating would look like for them? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think the biggest advice I would tell myself is, I think, like, I feel like everyone hears this, but, like, completely, like, find God's love first. Because if you go seeking for a relationship, like, you're obviously gonna fall in that hole of love and completely forget about everything around you. So I think at that moment, like, my relationship, like, I needed God's love because I think it could be different for everyone, honestly. Because for me at that time, it was like more like, I was looking for love. I was looking for like someone, and I was just like into that, right? But I think that just caught me in that hole. And what I was trying to look for was God's love because, like I said, the catechist who mentioned the story about love, like I was drawn to it. Why? Because that's what like I needed. That's like what kind of like my body needed. Like that's what I was like looking for.
And so you knew that was what you were looking for, but you thought you could find that in a relationship. Is that
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, and obviously social media has something to do with this too because social media now like they tell you like, oh, this is how your relationship should be. Like if he wanted to, he would. That thing, like that thing was just getting in my head. Like, and I think social media played a big part of it too, because like it was just like I would be scrolling and seeing how other people's relationship was, and I was like, why isn't mine like this? Or stuff like that was getting into my head, and I think I was just so lost into that when I should have been looking to like God.
Yeah.
And I think another thing in a relationship is having God like centered, because like it can be hard to like look away easily. And I feel like another thing is like the TI lecture, the Christian art of dating.
Yeah. Oh,
no, the art of Christian dating.
The Catholic art of dating. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just like a week.
Okay, that's my advice. I'm gonna use the one of his advice.
Yeah. Okay.
My advice is like to stop looking for the one. Like you should ask yourself, are you the one for that person?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest. I think that touched me because like that's literally what I needed to like hear. My first, like literally like high school year.
Yeah.
Because I was so like into like, oh, is that person the one? Like, how am I gonna find the one? Like even till today, I'm like, how am I gonna find the person? But ever since I heard that, I was like, wow. Like, I feel like I need to be the one, like, thinking about, like, what can I do to improve? Yeah, like, it's just little things, like, little by little. And I think also just praying, because I think God's timing is perfect. So, like, just praying and leaving it to His hands and let Him take. I know it's kind of hard, too, because, like, waiting and, like, you know, like, it's kind of hard. But, like, I think just putting it in prayer is, like, the biggest part.
Yeah.
That I've learned, to be honest.
Yeah. So, yeah. One of the things that stood out to me what you said is that when you're, you know, starting to be open to having a relationship, you have to make sure that you have God's love first before you know, try to receive love from someone else. Like, I'll admit, that's really hard for someone like me, especially. Like, how does one get that? Because some people can be so attached to this idea that, you know, I really want to find the one. But really, God's the ultimate person who's going to fulfill you in life. Like, what's your best advice for that?
So, the way I like to look at it is, like, God's love is unconditional, like, completely. Like, it's the Bible, like, literally says it. Like, the Bible literally, like, is a whole love story, right?
Yeah. So,
I feel like if you're gonna go into a relationship without knowing God, like, you won't love that person because you don't even know what love is. Because, like, God is love, right? Like,
yes.
He's the one who teaches us how to love others, you know, like, like the commandment. Yeah. So I think that that's the biggest thing to do because, again, if you just go, like, into a relationship without knowing His love, like, how are you gonna love that person?
Yeah.
You know, like, how are you gonna understand what love is? Or, like, it's just, that's how I kind of look at it because I feel like, that's just the biggest thing to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a difference between, like, knowing God's love in, like, a superficial way? Like every Christian will know, you know, the words, Jesus died for your sins. But I feel like what I see in you is that you really, like, you truly understand it. And you've experienced His love. I'm wondering how can I get that? Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really hard to explain in words. I think it's more like how, like, not feeling, but, like, how you view love. Does that make sense? Because, like, I don't even know how to explain it in words, to be honest.
It's fine.
Because, again, like, you gotta also put it into an example, too. Like, if you're gonna, like, love someone, like, you're just gonna be thinking about, like, other things, like the way the society puts it. But, like, God's love is more, like, unconditional. Like, it's, like, never ending. Like, it just keeps growing. Like, He's gonna love you no matter what. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to, like, put that into words to, like, be able to fully understand it. Like, I started understanding it by reading St. Augustine's book. Okay. Like, just knowing how, like, she suffers so much. Like, God, like, Jesus put her, like, in, like, all these things, but, like, she still pushed and was, like, you know, like, yeah. I don't know if you read that part, but, like, where she's, like, saying how, like, because I was also confused. When I was reading that book, I was like, how is Jesus putting her in all these stuff and then coming back, and then all these stuff and then coming back? Yeah. Like, it was just, like, I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. But then I started slowly understanding that Jesus was just teaching her, like, love, like, how, like, He loves her so much. Like, and then also the love when it comes to, like, when she would go through those stuff because, she wanted to save souls from purgatory. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to describe, honestly. Yeah. But I just think, like, because you know how people say, love yourself before you love someone else? Like, right. Like, that's great. But I think it, like, how are you going to love yourself if you don't even know what love is, too? Like, at the beginning, you know? Like, because, like, a lot of people, like, it's really hard. Like, you're never going to get to the point where, like, you fully understand, but, like, as long as you're, like, putting that as your number one goal, that's, like, when you, like, go on from there. You know? Yeah. Like, it's gonna be hard, because, like, even me, like, I still struggle with it. But, like, I still have my mindset, like, the goal is gonna be God's love first. Look at Him. Don't look at anyone else. Just keep looking at Him. And then, like, you know, you pray, like, pray to Him, and then when you find a person, just keep Him centered. And like you said the best thing ever about saying, like, hopefully you'll meet the person while you're also going towards God, you know?
Yeah.
How did you word that? Like, I think that was good too.
What was that?
I think it was when we were talking with, Fernanda and Karen.
Oh, what did I say?
You're like, oh, like, I feel like I hope we meet when we're like reaching towards God.
I remember in the first SFG, I think that's what she was talking about. So in the first bilingual SFG that I went to, I was like, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't both be chasing each other. You should both be chasing God together. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I said. Yeah. And so I think Fernanda had this certain interpretation where, you know, when you're both going towards God, you're at the same time going towards each other. But yeah. It's a good way to put it.
I mean, also, like, with God's love, like, I feel like, even if you haven't had your first relationship, I feel like with me, what I've learned with my relationship, like, yeah, like, my past relationship wasn't great, but, like, I learned to, like, at least love and give that love. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, like, I regret loving him, or I regret doing this. Like, no, like, maybe he needed that love, you know? Maybe he needed that, that person, or, like, whatever. But I just think that, it was hard for me to think about that first year, obviously. Like, through the breakup, right. I was like, I'm done with him, like, whatever. Yeah. But no, like, after that, I was like, no, like, I feel like maybe he needed that love, or, I don't know, maybe, like, he needed that, like, cause he didn't go to church too. Like, he would go to church, but, like, he wouldn't, like, pay attention to me.
Right.
But I led him to that way. Like, I took him there, and, like, so I hope, like, that helped him, and I hope that love also helped him too. I think that everyone deserves that love. And even if that relationship doesn't work, we'll go on to the next one and give even twice more love. You know, like, it's hard to think of it that way, but, like, that's God's love, literally. Cause He loves us, like, even more and more and more and more. Like, it's unconditional. Really so.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. Yeah. I know that you said, like, when you were explaining your spiritual journey, you were saying that you really want people to know God's love. And that's why you wanted to be in the La Confluencia, that talk. What is, like, the main thing you want people to know?
The main thing, like, what do you mean?
Like, everyone's heard of, oh, there's a God out there. Everyone's heard the story of Jesus and stuff like that. But there's something that you know that I feel like I don't know. Which is God's love. I feel like if I had what you have, understanding God's love more, I mean, that'll be incredible. But, like, how would you explain it to someone who hasn't had the same experiences that you had?
I don't know. I would say, like, the only thing I can think of is the Eucharist. Mm-hmm. I think the reason why I want people to, like, know about the Catholic, like, not just, like, the Catholic Church, but, like, I think the biggest thing is just the Eucharist, honestly. Like, I want people to know that. Like, I want college students to know that the Eucharist is not a symbol. It's literally Jesus, like, right there. And it's hard. It's hard to, like, even me, like, sometimes when I'm present, like, in adoration, I'm just like, my mind starts shifting, but I'm like, no, like, He's there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I want people to know, that He's there, and, like, He's listening to you always. Like, church, you know, mass, like, stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing that I want college students to know. Not just because of community. Like, obviously, I started that way. Like at the conferencia, I started it with Newman, and we have a bilingual SMP, and, like, community is important, but, like, then, like, you're gonna get to the point where, like, okay, like, where do I start? And I feel like the Eucharist, like, understanding the Eucharist, and, like, understanding, like, His love. Like, you know, there's just a lot to it, but I think that's the main thing. That's the main takeaway I would give.
What's your advice for those who are in college, who want to maintain their faith? Because I know you gave a talk about this, and so you had some really good tips, but I want to hear them again.
Wait, are you talking about reading the book?
Well, no, your the La Conferencia one. Like how to maintain your faith in college. Like what are the, I guess, major things that you should do, and maybe some things on the side that you can do to like nurture that relationship with God while in college.
I think the main thing is community.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's one of the things that like amazed me when I came to UNC is when I walked into like Newman, CCN, I saw everyone there just like so on fire for like their faith, like they're so on fire for like God. And I remember like during praise and worship, I don't know if you know Creed. I remember him seeing him like he was just like with his hands up, like everyone was like singing. Obviously at that point I was like, what in the world? Why like people singing? Like I didn't sing at that time because I was just like, this is weird. But I remember him like putting his arms up, like singing, like giving it his all, and I was like, wow, like I was like, I didn't think like college students do this, like because in my head at that time I didn't think about that. Yeah. But I think that's the main thing, like finding like your community, because once you're surrounded by people that are also like in their faith journey, you will also like be influenced by them, you know, because if you surround, like it's like kind of like common sense, like if you surround yourself with people who like always go out to drink, you're gonna do the same thing, right? So you gotta like put yourself to like a community where you will be influenced to follow God. And I think like, you know, Newman is a great community. Like we also have like small little things like small faith groups, holy hour. We used to have morning prayer, but that was also good. Like you can also start things like at Newman. Like maybe there's not something there, or maybe there's not something in your community on your college campus, but you can be the one to start it. So I think because I've seen that a lot. Like right now, like today, the women's Bible study, that's something new this year. So I think that's really great. But I think that like that's the number one. Like find the community and like find your people. You know. Because I found, you know, Patty and Kimberly, and because of them, we went to mass together. We went to like adoration together. Trying to think of other things like we just go, like you just find that like that kind of like those kind of people, and then go with them, you know. And then like after that, like you slowly start like understanding like mass and because I didn't even understand mass fully until like I started coming here and. Started like doing my research and like just like what is this, what is that? So I think those are like the biggest things. Like, first things, community, I think.
I know a lot of public universities will have a Newman Center, but there's a chance they might not. And so, if it's not, then it really is important to find that community. I know that people would say like, you become like the 5 people you spend time with the most. And so, like you said, if you're spending that time with like people who aren't a good influence to you, it will probably be bad for your spiritual life. But you know, if you surround yourself with good people who are strong in their spiritual life, then like you have a good foundation at least for your spiritual life in college. So yeah, that's very right. How about prayer? I know you have a whole routine, which is impressive. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah, what's your advice on prayer for college students?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. After the awakening retreat, like my freshman year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do all of this. Like, I'm gonna start praying this. I'm gonna start reading the Bible. I'm gonna like start going to all the events. Like, I was literally like putting so much on myself that I didn't even know if it was gonna fully like commit myself to it. So I think my biggest advice is don't start like doing all these things like all at once. Try to find like what fits best for you. So for me, like it took me a long time. So this year, it took me a long time. Like there's so many prayer books you can find online. I found one actually at a thrift store.
Oh yeah.
Back in my hometown. It was like kind of like a mini Catholic store. So, and, yeah, like, I got that book, and the good thing about that book is it has, like, morning prayer, afternoon, evening, and then night, like, when you go to sleep. So, I just kind of, like, broke it down to, like, oh, like, in the morning I pray this. And then, during night I pray, like, the rosary. Like at 3 p.m. I pray the Divine Mercy, like stuff like that, right? Like I just put it where like I can fit it throughout my day. But I think the first thing is a simple 5-minute prayer. Mm-hmm. Just a simple, like start with that and slowly start growing. Like, okay, I want to add the Angelus. The Angelus is super quick, like 2-3 minutes. You can pray like at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., or 6 p.m. Just start with like a small little 5-minute prayer. But also don't forget, because this is what I learned from my older brother. There's a difference between prayer and like worship. So like prayer, you obviously are repeating like the same prayers over and over again. But then there's also worship. Well, I don't know how to say it in English, but in Spanish it has its way. But basically you also have to have time for like when you like talk to God, like talk to Jesus, like you know. Like, because, like, when you're praying, like, it's like, you know, you're praying, like, it's great, right? Like, but you're just repeating the same thing. But you also have to have time aside where you speak to him, like, talk about it, like, your day, like, oh, like, I did this, I did that, like, or, like, just have a silent time with him, like, which is kind of hard, because, like, silence for me is also hard, because, like, I have to have something in the background, like, some background noise or something. But I think just, like, having that too, like, those two balance, like, prayer and, like, talking to him.
Gotcha. So, yeah. So, there are some people who might watch this video who are interested in Catholicism but aren't Catholics yet. What's your favorite part about being a Catholic?
I think it's like the different saints that we have, because every single one of them has a different story, and they were literally like us, humans. Like, they made mistakes, but they got through it and they did something, you know? Like, my favorite now is obviously Saint Faustina, but also Carlo Acutis, because I think that's like the biggest thing, because it made me so happy knowing that now like he was canonized, and like it's just crazy because now it's going to bring like even more young people towards like Catholicism. And I just think that it's just like it's beautiful in so many ways, because we have so many like things that I wish other people should know, like obviously like adoration, like the Eucharist mainly, because I don't know, I've had a lot of dreams about it. So I think like it's just that's like the main thing of Catholicism, to be honest, is that the beauty of the history as well, like so many things that we don't even, like, I'm still learning. Like, when I went to the Basilica in Washington, like, just going through every, like, station and seeing, like, I was just like, wow. Like, I didn't know there was this, I didn't know there's that. I think that's, like, the biggest thing.
And at the time of this recording, for those who don't know, he got canonized, like, 5 days ago. On Sunday. It was at 3 a.m. in our time. Which we were all asleep at that time. But Carlo Acutis is an interesting one, because you do a good amount of like social media work for Newman, and so it's almost like he's the perfect saint.
Yeah, that's another big thing. Like that's the reason why I got into social media, was because like that's like the place where everyone now is. Like everyone, literally everyone, and I think that's the biggest place to, like, I guess evangelize and like share. Like that there's all these resources about like Newman and like community, like in college campus, and I think that's like just the biggest place to do it, and that's why I've gotten so into it. And you know, just just like.
And you started that one page about on
Instagram,
but your last post was like 2024. But
like it's been so, like, I've been trying to think of like coming back to it, but I'm trying to think of like how to come back to it. You know, because like I don't like, for those of you who don't know, but like I started a page called Heart of Jesus, and I basically posted weekly Bible verses, like basically from the gospel of the coming Sunday Mass, and I kind of like annotated it and just talked about it. I also added like prayers for exam and like studying, but I've been having like a hard time on how to come back to it, because I have this one favorite Instagram, like her name is Jenny, and she like posts a lot of like hers is like poems, like she posts like her talking about poems that she makes, and it's just really beautiful. Like there's this one poem specifically like stood out to me, because it was basically me talking to myself, like saying those exact words, because she basically talked about how like she also went on and off too, like she went off for like a whole year and then came back. So she talked about how like she was so on fire about like on social media doing all these poems, but then there came to a point where like she stopped and like she felt like she was falling again, and that's basically me, because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. But.
That's so cool. And now you're here on a YouTube video, telling everyone about your YouTube journey. So it's definitely not. You're definitely continuing that social media journey for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think you've set a really good example of what I've seen. You're like, I'm so glad I had this interview, because like you're the perfect person to like show off all the great people that I've met here at UNC. So yeah, so thank you so much. I'm sure everyone here that's watching is amazed at your story. So I'm really glad that you came, and I'm glad. Yeah, that's. Yeah. Oh my goodness! How do I end a video, bro? How do I end the video?
You're just gonna end it like that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, start over.
Thank you for coming. Please like and subscribe. I will also put some of Maria's socials in the description, so definitely check her page out. And yeah, thank you, Maria, for joining me today.
Yeah, definitely.